What you're about to hear might change the way you see the world. But before we begin, subscribe to Tony's Horror Stories so you're not alone when the darkness returns. They say LaBubu is just a toy, a bizarre pastel creature with dead eyes and a stitched smile. But those who've owned one, they speak of something darker, something alive. Since late 2024, LaBubu has exploded in popularity. Viral TikToks, shelves emptied in seconds, children begging their parents for one. But as quickly as it rose, the stories started surfacing. Nightmares, hallucinations, sleepwalking, and worse. And as we dug deeper, more and more cases from across the world started appearing. Reddit threads, deleted YouTube videos, hushed voice memos passed between terrified parents. Tonight, we dive into the strangest, most disturbing stories tied to the LaBubu toy. Real posts, real voices, real nightmares, and maybe real danger. 1. LaBubu in the attic. This story comes from TikTok, January 2025. Her younger cousin Jamie was staying at their grandmother's house in rural Kentucky. While exploring the attic, Jamie found a box filled with old dolls, stuffed animals, and, at the very bottom, a LaBubu, not a commercial one. This version had glowing pink eyes and a sewn-shut mouth. Jamie brought it downstairs. The grandmother froze. She whispered, "Put that thing back. That's not yours. It's cursed." Later that night, strange things happened. The attic light turned on by itself. Jamie's door creaked open at 3:12 a.m. The baby monitor, used for their toddler brother, picked up heavy breathing and a raspy voice whispering, "You shouldn't have touched me." Jamie began sleepwalking, always heading toward the attic. Molly set up her phone to record. The footage showed Jamie sitting up in bed, mumbling in her sleep, then reaching under the pillow and pulling out the LaBubu. It was never there when she went to sleep. They burned the doll. But for a week, soot handprints appeared on the attic ceiling every night. Jamie began talking in his sleep, answering someone no one else could hear. On the seventh night, the attic door opened again, and the burned remains of the toy were found placed neatly at the foot of his bed. 2. I bought a LaBubu on eBay. It came with a voice. Posted to Reddit by December 2024. A collector of strange toys, he came across a rare European model of LaBubu, supposedly only released as a factory error. The face was slightly off, too wide, one eye higher than the other. But what made it unique? A sound module embedded in its chest. When the package arrived, it smelled of vinegar and old paper. The toy was cold. He pressed the sound button. "Let me out." He assumed it was a prank, but when he opened the toy, there were no batteries inside, and the speaker was gone. Still, every night at exactly 2:34 a.m., the toy would say different things. "You called me. One of you will go missing. It's warmer in your skin." On the seventh day, he recorded a message that wasn't in English. When he ran it through reverse audio software, it translated to, "I live here now." The account has since been deleted, but screenshots of the post and audio file still circulate. A few users who played the audio reported strange glitches, including their smart speakers repeating fragments of the phrase "unprompted," and calls from unknown numbers playing static, followed by the same voice saying, "Don't forget me." 3. The nursery incident. From a YouTube comment, February 2025, on a toy review video, a woman claimed that her LaBubu plush, gifted to her newborn by an aunt, kept moving position in the crib. She thought it was her husband, until the baby monitor caught footage of the toy shifting on its own and leaning toward the infant. The creepiest part? On the night she removed the toy, her baby cried in a deep, distorted voice for 11 seconds, then stopped. Silence. Doctors said it was a muscle spasm, but when she checked her phone's baby monitor history, that clip was gone, replaced by static. She donated the toy the next day, but for months after, her child kept whispering to the corner of the room at night, giggling. When asked, she said, "Bubu's still here. He's just quiet now." Weeks later, during a thunderstorm, the power went out. For 30 seconds, the baby monitor came back online. The footage showed the LaBubu plush sitting at the edge of the crib, even though it had been donated. And the baby? Laughing in sync with static-filled humming. 4. The Night Terror Thread, LaBubu's Viral Curse. A thread posted to Twitter in March 2025 went viral with over 6 million views in 2 days. Dozens of users posted similar stories. Ever since they brought LaBubu home, they experienced the same recurring nightmare. A hallway made of velvet and bone, a door that breathes. LaBubu sitting cross-legged, humming a tune only the dreamer recognizes, often from their childhood. One user recorded themselves waking up mid-nightmare, eyes wide, gasping, whispering, "He ate my voice. I can't talk there." Psychologists weighed in. Mass hysteria, they said. But others pointed to a coincidence. All these dreamers had bought a version of the new LaBubu limited midnight release sold in Tokyo and shipped globally. Since the tweet storm, the model was quietly pulled from shelves. However, resellers still offer the doll online, and in every case, those who bought it anonymously reported loss of sleep, worsening insomnia, and hearing the tune while awake. 5. The girl who drew LaBubu before it was invented. One of the most disturbing cases resurfaced in early 2025. In 2003, a 6-year-old girl named Hannah began drawing a strange creature, floppy ears, bulbous eyes, jagged grin. Her parents thought it was just imagination, until a friend pointed out the resemblance to LaBubu, which wouldn't be released until 2006. Hannah insisted she didn't invent it. "He shows me things," she'd whisper. One day, she disappeared from her room. Window locked, alarm active, no signs of forced entry. The only thing left was a crayon drawing pinned to her bed. It showed a forest, a small girl, and LaBubu holding her hand. Years later, after the toy's global boom, the same image reappeared, posted on an obscure conspiracy blog with the caption, "They always choose a prophet first." Now, in 2025, that drawing has become an obsession in online forums. Several parents have reported their children independently drawing the same creature, even without exposure to the toy. The drawings share one common element. LaBubu always holds something. Sometimes a hand, sometimes a key, sometimes an eye. LaBubu may have started as a quirky designer toy, but its history and the stories around it hint at something much older, much darker. And now, with the rise in sleep disorders, night terrors, and silent screaming caught on baby cams, it's no longer just coincidence. So if you ever see a LaBubu in a thrift store, maybe just leave it there. Because some toys don't want to be owned. They want to own you. And some nightmares are only waiting for you to close your eyes. You made it to the end. That says something. If this story made you glance over your shoulder, leave a like, subscribe to Tony's Horror Stories, and keep a little light nearby while you still can.